Well, welcome back everyone. This is episode 24, Ryan Homestead Project Skoolie Edition. We've got a lot to talk about in this particular episode. We've got solar, we've got new toys, and we had a little bit of a bus cooling disaster that I need to walk you through. So with that said, let's not delay, let's get after it and show you what I got done. Well, welcome back YouTube. It is Sunday, July 20th. Tomorrow will be 3 weeks since I released my last video. When I started that video, I was outside the bus on the roof laying on a sheet of plywood. Today is no different, except I'm not laying on a sheet of plywood. I've been really busy over the last 3 weeks, but I have been fighting extreme heat, extreme humidity, and a lot of rain and thunderstorms in the evenings and stuff. I'm sure you've seen a lot of that stuff on the weather, but I do want to give you a rundown on some of the things that I've been doing and show you how everything has come together. As I introduced in the title, I've got solar, so let's take a walk and I'll show you what I got going on. So look what I got done, y'all. These 6 panels right here represent 1500 watts of solar. They provide solar input to my 24 volt distribution system. I got these things up last Tuesday and made the final connections. I got them up here on Monday. Came up here and worked on all the MC4 connectors and got all the connections in place. Finished everything. Thunderstorms came out of nowhere. Made the last connection as soon as the sky opened up. There was lightning flashing all around me and stuff. I was getting nervous. I had to get off the roof, but I made that final connection. And what's really interesting, the sky was black, it was dark, it was a thunderstorm, but even in that I managed to pull out about 250 watts of solar out of it in the middle of a thunderstorm. What I've seen so far in monitoring these things is I'm getting about 75% efficiency out of them at the peak, and strangely enough that happens around 11 o'clock in the morning. So kind of interesting, but considering they're flat panel mounted and the sun is changing inclination and stuff, I'm really happy with that. These are all used panels that I got from Santan Solar close to a year ago. Got a whole pallet of them, and they've been sitting in my yellow bus over there, and I pulled them out, cleaned them up, got them up here, got them all wired, got them all connected, and they're giving me solar power now. So I do want to take you on a walkthrough. One of the first things that I did was finish out all the infrastructure that I was talking about on the previous video in episode 23, and now we're on 24. But let's show you some things that I did. So I got all of my outside supports in place. One of the things that I did was I added a middle runner on the leading edge and trailing edge of the solar panels to get 3 tie points on the front. It only runs from there. I don't know if you can see it, but right in there there's another track, so it runs from there to here, and it's mounted on the front there. And then coming down, I've got my clamps that feed on the outside and inside edge, in between the panels on that side, same thing over here. One of the other things that I did originally, I had thought that I would have a 24-inch walkway in between the panels. Well, for some reason I screwed up. I didn't really screw up. I think it was done that way on purpose, but I just lost sight. But my mounting rails are 35.5 inches apart, and I did that to provide a little bit of mounting structure away from the edge. Well, the panels themselves are actually 39.5 inches, so I had to cut all of these down. One of the things that I changed up was that rather than running all 10 panels all the way down the back of the bus, which would have pretty much ended them up right there where that first set of panels right there, these are the ones that provide power to my 12-volt side. That's 1,000 watts. I have seen upwards of 750 watts out of them as well. So just wanted to share that. But one of the things that I did was I changed up and actually put a little platform deck right here on the roof. I wanted one. I thought it would be better to put it in the center of the bus rather than back there on the back. I didn't want to have weight being supported overhanging the back of the bus or anything, so I put it here, shifted the solar panels back, and got everything in place the way that I wanted to up here. One of the other things that I want to show you is I've got this piece of angle aluminum clamped in place right there. I'm going to put that there to actually dress up the edge, and it will conform and look like the solar panels. I didn't want those ragged cut edges of the decking. This is all composite decking. It will be more durable and last longer up here on the roof of the bus than using standard wood decking boards. One of the other things that I want to point out is if you see the pattern in the boards that are up here, I got to tell you very specifically and very clearly that was the result of a mistake. That was not by design. Now, the design part of it is fixing the mistake and making it look halfway decent. But when I decided to change up and put the deck in the middle, I needed to get more of these boards. Well, when I ordered what I needed, I ordered the wrong color. And I didn't realize it until I got back here, and then I was like, oh crap. So I played around with what I had, figured it out, and came up with this alternating design to fix the mistake that I made with ordering the wrong color of boards. One of the other things that I do want to show you as well is that right here behind this max air fan is my emergency hatch. What I'm going to be doing is trying to figure out a way to create a trap door in the deck boards up here so that I can still open up my emergency hatch from the inside without having to climb on the roof to be able to do so. I haven't quite engineered that yet, but I will. I've got some ideas, but the hardest part that I'm going to run into is figuring out a way to actually secure it when I'm on the road. I may wind up having to figure out something where I come up here and secure it when I'm traveling, unsecure it when I'm not traveling, and that way it'll still work. Those boards back there, I just put those there. I'm debating on whether or not I'm going to put those there. I just put those there to give me a platform to work on so that I'm not putting my weight on the sheet metal of the roof right there. I kind of like it, so I might actually do something with it and leave them there, but for right now they're just there to give me a platform. One of the things that I need to do is that center clamp for the solar panel back there. I need to take that off, and I need to move it up here to this corner. I ran out. Basically 2 clamps too short, so I'm gonna pull that one off, put it up here so that I have the standard M8 strut nuts that are holding this one up, and then in the center there and the center there I'm going to put 1/4 inch ones that I have. And speaking of the 1/4 inch, so that is exactly how all of these deck boards are going to be mounted to the roof. So along the outside edge right there, I'll have 2 1/4 inch bolts per board going through the angle iron and into the strut nuts that are in that strut. On this one right here, I'll have a single that'll be in the center of the board going down. On this one right here in the center, I'll have a single that will run all the way down. And then going back over here, I'll have a single going through here, and then the outside edge will be 2 as well again. So that's how that's going to be mounted. I'll be working on that a little bit every day in the evening and stuff. One of the things that I had mentioned in my description and stuff is that I got a new toy. So at this point I'm going to shut this down and give you a little reveal and brief insight into what my new toy is. One of the other new toys I got is, if you see right there, I've got 2 GoPros now. One is a 12 and one is a 9. I'm using the 9 as we're talking right now, but I'm doing some dual recording to see how I like it and see what's going on with it, and start using it I'm starting to have a lot of trouble with my 9. It's several years old, so we'll see how it works. You guys can tell me which one you think is better. So with that, I'm going to shut these down, and then I'm going to transition into a short reveal of my new toy, and then we'll go back on the inside of the bus and I'll talk about some things in there. So I alluded in the title of the bus cooling disaster, and that right there is the reason why I had the disaster. One of the challenges that I had is that the humidity around here is so extremely high. The cold air that was blowing out the front of this was actually cooling down the frame of the air conditioner, and the humidity in the air was condensating on the actual body of the air conditioner, and instead of all draining into the pan, it was going all over the floor. If you see those dark spots down there by the vent for that other unit, there's water everywhere down there. I'm actually using that vent to try to dry it all up and get it all out of here. I didn't really notice it until I was trying to figure out a way to enhance the cooling in this bus, and I saw that water everywhere, and so this thing is gone. Don't ever do this, guys, unless you have a means to keep the outside part of this thing completely outside the bus so that you don't have that issue. The humidity here is running in the 90% range, and it is a disaster. But as you can see, there was water everywhere. It ran underneath my plates. One of the other things that I do want to show you is that I changed up the means and manner that I'm cooling this. I closed down the floor space. I moved my little standalone unit back here to the back and closed off the front. So if I get to my solar equipment, I do so from here. There's my little unit right there. And then if I come up here, I put in some foam insulation and reflectix up here to seal this off. There's nothing I need to cool up there. I thought that it was pointless, so I did this to kind of close down the square footage that I'm trying to cool. As you can see right now, well, you can't see. Let me see if I can put a little light on the subject. It is 79 degrees in here right now, so it's still hot. Now that I've got solar though, my priority is to get my mini splits in so that I can use those to cool this thing down. There's my thermometer temperatures right there. You can see those. Coming back to my overview though, my solar yield right now is 35 watts, but that's because my batteries are 100%. And so the solars are only providing power for the loads and not charging the battery, because the batteries are in float right now. If I come over here to this side, you can see that this thing is a lot hotter over here. I don't know why, and I really don't understand it because the air doesn't seem all that warm. But I put that thermometer in here and it started climbing, so they're accurate. And if I come back over here, I'm getting 123 watts out of my solar right now. It's overcast as well, so that's part of the reason why that's so low. And it is more or less, as you can see, 0 amps going to the batteries. They're in absorption charge right now probably because they're sitting at 99%. But it's the solar is actually providing power for the loads that are in here, and the solar charge controller is limiting the current to the batteries to support just those loads. So that's what's going on with the solar. Like I said, tomorrow morning when the batteries are depleted from running these fans all night, the battery percentage will be a lot lower, and you'll be able to see, or I see, a much higher solar yield in the range of 600-700 watts depending on what time of the day it is. So I wanted to share that with you and show you that they are working, and that's what I got going on there. So one of the other things that I wanted to give a rundown on is some other activities that I did, and try to pull together some level of a time frame and timing on how this all came together. But if you'll remember in the last video, I pointed out that that particular strut going across the top was out of whack. It was low on this side, high on the other side. So I came in here and managed to get that sorted out and fixed. I had to raise this side up and re-drill and re-bolt it. On the other side, I actually had to cut that member that comes down into the support frame down a little bit to get that side to drop down. Got it re-drilled, re-bolted, and everything is secure, everything's level, everything's stable. So I wanted to share that I did actually get that fixed. One of the other things that I wanted to point out is, if you notice this particular panel right here, it's sticking out about 3 inches. That is the result of me having to clear my emergency hatch. One of the things that I'm going to do is put a reinforced angle across there, so that if I'm going down the road or something and run into trees or something like that, I don't have a flat edge that will catch that and create some damage. So I'm going to put a ramp, a sloping ramp, so that if anything hits it, it'll just glance off the side. I do that on both sides. One of the other things that I screwed up, is come over here. I was in such a hurry to get my solar panels in place, I forgot to put my support mount down here, so I'm gonna have to come back and do that. I'll do that during the week when I have time and it's not raining. One of the other things that I did want to share though, that I came up with, is this support structure right here for the overhanging racking for the solar panels. So I'm gonna put some supports under here, get this where I need it. I'll be using those clamps that are right there, and kind of jack this thing up and get it supported and stable and level where it needs to be. And then I'm going to drill and bolt these in place, get the right tension on it, and then I'm going to drill a 3/8 inch hole through the center of this, and then run a bolt through it to hold it. And I don't think it's going to go anywhere. One of the other things is this is just sheet metal of the bus. So what I may do is put a reinforcing bracket behind the back of it to give it something more other than just the sheet metal of the bus to bolt to. So one of the other things that I wanted to show you is coming in here. You can see all of my solar wiring running in here. I need to clean that up. That right there is the input for the 12-volt solar. And if you can see across the top of the roof to the other side, that's the input for the 24. Because of the way that the solar panels are wired, all of the positive leads off of the solar panels have a 15 amp fuse on them, and they are actually in a 3S 2P configuration. So Number 1, number 2, and number 3 are tied in series. Number 1, number 2, and number 3 on the other side are tied in series. And then those 2 series strings are tied in parallel, and then they come down here and go into I'm sorry, go into the actual bus. I'm trying to see if I can find where I've got them tied in parallel, but yeah, there it is back there. It's kind of hard to see, but if you look at the right at the back of the emergency hatch, that you can see right there, there's a little coupler fitting right there. It's got 1 in 2 out, or 2 in 1 out, and that's the combiner that's giving me my parallel connections. I got 1 on positive, 1 on negative, and then they tie to the wires that go into the solar panel. I need to tie all this up and clean it up, get it off the roof of the bus, get everything tidy and easily accessible. I'm going to move as much as I can these connections more to the outside so that I can get to them much easier, and make it easy for maintenance, etc. And I'll do that across the bus and make sure that everything is tied and secured in place. So this is the single negative input that is tied to my panels. My 12 volt panels are 2S2P, which is just 2 panels in series, and then those 2 arrays in parallel. And then this is where they tie together and go down into the bus, into the solar array. One of the other things that I want to share is show you how this is going to look on the outside. I've got this clamped in place for right now. I need to cut it because I had to remove 1 board because I had to move my panels forward a little bit. The deck was originally exactly 6 feet, and I got a 6-foot piece of aluminum, but unfortunately I had to take 1 single board out, and because I had to take 1 single board out, I'm gonna have to cut that down and work it in place. One of the other things that I want to share is with this particular board right here, it's bowed up right here because it's clamped on the outside. I'm going to get rid of that as soon as I kill the video, but as you can see right there, I've got my clamps. So I'm going to have to actually cut a notch out of this board where those clamps are so that I can remove, adjust, tighten, all of that stuff, and get these boards to lay flat around those clamps. I'm gonna have to do 1 right here in the corner, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. I'm debating on whether or not, ow, that's hot. I'm debating on whether or not I want to do the same thing on this side, and pull the board all the way up to the panel. I may do that, I'm not sure, but at any rate, that's something else that I've got to do. So I still got a lot of work. I'm going to be working on getting all this stuff drilled and bolted during the week, in the evenings after work, doing a little bit at a time until I get it all done. I've got some clamps. I'm going to lock that first light board that you see right there in place, get it bolted down, and then I'm going to use clamps to pull these things tight, because if you notice there are some gaps and stuff, so I need to pull them tight and clamp them and get them bolted in place. I will have slack in the holes so that with the heat and stuff, if these things expand and contract, there will be the ability for them to move a little bit. So at any rate, one of the other things that I wanted to point out, if you look up the front there at the edge of the solar panels going all the way up to the front, those things line up perfectly. I was really happy with that. However, well guys, my other GoPro overheated and shut down on me, so here I am back with my 12. I'm going to wrap this up because it's way too hot out here for this equipment. I'll work on getting this edited and out as soon as I can, but here's what I was showing you about with the overhang. I'm going to put an angle that comes back here so it'll deflect things off. But what I was showing is something happened with my racking in the back there. As you can see, I'm no longer square level or even with the outside edge of my railing back there. I don't know exactly what happened. I think it has something to do with that overhang part, and it wasn't actually square in alignment with the rest of the racking. Doesn't matter, it's tight, it's secure, it's not going anywhere. It just bugs me because it should be flush and it's not, but I can live with it. Not much I can do about it at this point anyway. So with that, I think I'm going to close this one up because my equipment's overheating and I can't record out here. My next video, I am going to be working on finishing up all of the boards up here, getting them all secured. And the priority that I'm going to be working on in the evenings and stuff is getting my mini splits in so I can cool this thing down, because it is extremely hot in there. Even with that little air conditioner, it's still overheating. I got to give my fans a rest. They're running 24/7 on the 12 volt side. I'm really happy with everything that I got done. Just to give you some insight, so on last weekend, last weekend I finished up all of the racking infrastructure on the bus except for the overhang back here. The next thing that I did was I got my on Monday I got my solar panels up, got them bolted down and bolted in place. On Tuesday is when I did all the wiring and got those connected into the solar charge controller. And that's when I had that thunderstorm and made the last connection when the sky opened up with lightning all over the place. And then on Thursday I came out here and finished up, well, on Wednesday I got the racking in place back here, got that all in place and set up. And then on Thursday I came out, put the solar panels up, got those all connected and got those into the 12 volt solar charge controller as well. So that's kind of the timeline and how everything came together on the bus, going through everything. The week prior to that was all just working on this racking infrastructure. I fixed this strut thing that I had to do over here on Wednesday as well. Before I did the rest of this, I did all that racking for the back all together. I fixed that and got that added, and that's what I did, and that's how I did it, and that was the timeline. And here it is, Sunday, July the 20th, and I've got solar on my roof and everything is working. I'm really happy. I have not run generator or shore power into this bus since I got the solar connected. The batteries, because of the fans, drain down at night, but early afternoon they're all fully charged again. So I'm really happy with that. I am going to prioritize my mini splits now, and probably next video we'll be walking through getting those in, getting those connected, getting those powered on and cooling this thing down. At least I hope it works, and I hope they cool it down. Otherwise I got problems. But anyway, that's where I'm at. I appreciate it. I'm gonna wrap this one up. That's a wrap on this video. Thank you very much for being here, and we'll see you next time.